Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hello to Ocean. Hello to Mal. Hello to Nick. Hello to anyone else that might be lurking. We are uh, back at it again with some more Strike Suit Zero. So last time we finished off the campaign, and now we'll be moving on to the DLC missions called Heroes of the Fleet, which are a simulation of some of the most infamous battles of the war, all to be a training program for the next generation of pilots. So, we're gonna do that, but first I have terrible news to announce to all of you. Um, I've joked a little bit about being like, what if I got into leathercraft, and then I was talking with my parents today, and it turns out that my uncle owns a tool set owned previously by his uncle, of leather tools, and there is a chance that I could be the next owner of them. So it it that might happen. I don't know. We'll see. I have to actually ask him and everything first. So, but um that could be fun. And even if I don't, even if he's like, "No, I'm still using them." Um there's no reason I couldn't just go out and get my own tools, but proper place to hammer in the final rivet. Oh yeah, that would be difficult. I don't know. I wonder if it has like a hammer in the set. Leather's a lot of fun. It seems like it. I've seen some tutorials based on um templates and stuff for making like random things, and I'm like, you know what? This could be kind of fun actually. Um so yeah, that has nothing to do with what we're doing today, but I was just like, oh yeah, like my family does have leather tools. That this I could cut out a significant portion of the costs of getting into a hobby if I can just get the tools. I seen the state run fair, but looks super cool. To send little things. This is true. This is true. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have to stop thinking about that now, or to spend entirely too much time being like, oh, what would I make first? Uh, Strike Suit Zero. That's what we're doing. So let's get into that. The game does not like being alt tabs, so bear with me here. Wrong, wrong. We use the cockpit scene for this one. Aha. Okay. The game. Excuse me. Excuse me. Nope. Video. Full screen. Full screen. If I alt tab, it turns off full screen, but it still thinks it's in full screen, and I can't just hit alt enter to get it back into full screen for some reason. Fuck. It took me entirely too long to remember what you were talking about, Ocean. Like collar for dogs? When did we talk about that? Oh, right. uh, I didn't unmute the game. God damn it. Okay, are we good? We're good. Shall we pull the clip up? No, no, we're good. Anyway, Heroes of the Fleet. Welcome, pilot. Today you will take on a variety of roles as our new AI, Control, version 2.0, takes you through a series of simulations representing some of the most heroic moments from the UNE Colonial War. These simulations cover some of the more heroic moments that took place during the war and show brave UNE pilots battling it out against the odds. However, be aware that not all of our heroes survive these encounters, and in these simulations, you must overcome odds that defeated our best pilots. Also, to ensure there is some educational value for our new recruits, these simulations have been collected together to give some insight into the events that created the colonial elite group known as the Black Fleet. Despite the historical setting, we are allowing trainees to pilot the new strike suits within the simulations to help us evaluate them. However, we do encourage cadets to try the simulations using the historically accurate ship and loadout described. Heroes of the Fleet, Revenge. This simulation is a recreation of the events that followed the colonial revenge attacks after the massacre on Akira 5. You will take on the role of UNE pilot Tom Whittaker. Historically, the pilot flew a Scythe Interceptor armed with a medium plasma cannon, light machine gun, and seeker missiles. You may choose your ship and loadout. The simulation takes place 6 days after the massacre on Akira 5, when the new AI Control version 1.0 was charged with providing tactical support to the UNE fleet as it tried to remove a colonial blockade. The fleet followed Control's commands to the letter and successfully destroyed the blockade, but in the process killed 30,000 civilians. The colonials were expected to retaliate for this massacre. The simulation covers the events that follow their attack. You will be part of an escort team protecting personnel from the Akira incident as they return to base. Right. Marauder. Right. So the Marauder is a second-generation strike suit and is built and is slower and more cumbersome than the original. In strike mode, it carries a long-range cannon capable of ripping capital ships apart. The missiles on the Marauder are essentially mini torpedoes with low turn rates but high damage. There's the Raptor. The Raptor is a second-generation strike suit. It is even faster than the original. In the strike mode, it carries a high-powered, short-range cannons capable of destroying fighters and entire waves of torpedoes with a single shot. It also comes equipped with rapid-fire missiles to deter fighters at close range. Or the Revenant. The Revenant is a third-generation strike suit equipped with stealth technology. This cloak module replaces the EMP system and is activated using the EMP controls. In strike mode, it is armed with a medium-range cannon and fast-fire missiles designed to destroy a fighter craft. The Revenant, the stealth suit Zero, the stealth strike suit, the Revenant, is really broken. The way, if you remember from the way missiles worked in the first campaign, you had to wait for the distance meter to show up in order to break lock with the EMP. In here, if you just pop the the cloak on anytime that you're locked, it just instantly breaks. So, I liked using the Revenant a lot. We'll try not to use it too much, but I'm definitely gonna have to use it at some point. Let's use the Raptor, though. And we get to carry over our performance upgrades from the campaign. Do we have the large plasma guns? Yes, we do. Railgun. High-powered shots at considerable range. Each shot consumes such large amounts of gun energy that its fire rate is incredibly slow. Rocket pods. Fire and forget. Shield missiles. Oh. So shield missiles specifically only drain the shields of a target, but they drain them completely and also have... you can carry a lot of them. Or heavy missiles. Swarm missiles. I think we'll do this loadout. This loadout's a bit awkward, but I'm sure we'll make it work. Like a Falcon. Yeah. The problem with the swarm missiles is that they're single target. Unlike the ones inside built into the strike suits, powered weapons.
Welcome to the
1 second, Control. My control options are fucked.
UNE Training Simulator. I am UNE AI Control version 2. This scenario takes place approximately 6 days after the Akira incident, where a UNE attack caused the death of some 30,000 innocent civilians. The Colonials are expected to retaliate. You are assuming the role of UNE pilot Tom Whitaker. Your assignment is to escort a group of freighters carrying UNE personnel involved in the Akira incident. The enemy force that is folding in now was sent in retaliation for Akira. Their orders are to destroy the freighters. Pilot Tom Whitaker's orders were to destroy the attacking fighters. It might be useful to know that in this simulation, you have a 0% chance of saving the freighters. The first transport has been destroyed. Transport has been destroyed. All 3 transports have been destroyed. With their objective complete, the enemy ships retreated through the adjacent asteroid field. Fearing a trap, the UNE ships were given orders not to pursue the Colonial strike team. However, Pilot Tom Whitaker chose to ignore the danger and his orders and followed the enemy into the asteroid field. In this simulation, you will relive this act of heroism.
I'm gonna be a hero!
Ahead of you is the retreating Colonial fleet. The Colonials must reach a point on the far side of the asteroid field before they can fold out to safety. This gave pilot Tom Whitaker a limited time frame in which to take out all of the Colonial capital ships. He applied what he knew about the structure of these ships. This gave him a distinct advantage. If you're going to destroy these ships within the limited time frame, you will have to target their weak points. The positions of these structural weaknesses vary between ship classes, but all cause massive damage with only a few hits.
Where's the weak point?
Frigate destroyed.
I'm surrounded.
Enemy fighters are inbound.
Missiles are great. This is very true.
Frigate destroyed. The colonial ships are accelerating. You need to do more if you want to stop them.
So it turns out the best ship to use on this probably would have been the Marauder.
fleet are halfway to their objective. You are running out of time. Be aware that the enemy has turret emplacements in this area.
Yeah, anytime you feel like exploding, I'd greatly appreciate that. Let's make this battleship out of? Not enough weak points, that's for sure. Oh, they literally called the missiles a Tano in the in the strike suit mode. There we go.
The colonial ships have been destroyed. You have matched the achievements of pilot Tom Whitaker. Although, having examined colonial history for this simulation, I find I am more impressed with them. Whitaker disobeyed orders and sought glory above all, whereas the colonials risked everything to strike back at a force they saw as tyrannical, and, in the end, died for their cause. Their sacrifice makes your accomplishment seem considerably less impressive. However, you have passed this simulation.
I hate to say it, but she's right. Barely a bronze medal. Yeah, fair enough. You correctly reenacted pilot Tom Whitaker's revenge on the enemy ships. However, as a result, the Colonials realized that they needed to develop an elite TAC group capable of performing hit-and-run attacks, an independent group capable of striking fear into the UNE. The creation of this group would take some of the best minds in the Colonial fleet. Earth Intel. This failed attempt to enact retribution upon the UNE was a turning point for the Colonials. The creation of the Colonial elite can be traced back to meetings that followed the destruction of their capital ships. Your unimpressive score for this simulation is less likely to inspire such drastic changes. Being score-shamed. Heroes of the Fleet, Fold Point. This simulation is based on the battle for Fold Point 1138. You take on the role of Flight Team Leader Phil Robinson. Historically, Team Leader Robinson flew an Apex fighter equipped with a medium plasma cannon, railgun, and rocket pods. You may choose your ship and loadout. The battle for Fold Point 1138 was in fact one of the UNE's most significant losses. The impact of the loss of 1138 can be seen in the way the Colonials subsequently controlled the surrounding space. However, this was overshadowed by the rise of the man who would become known as the father of the Colonial elite, Admiral Surovov. Yeah, let's take the Marauder. Large plasma gun, sure. Railgun. This is actually one where we might want missile. Thanks, Ocean. Thanks, Mal.
Welcome to the UNE Training Simulator. This simulation recreates the battle over Fold Point 1138. The battle over Fold Point 1138 is interesting not only because of its strategic value, but also because of the personalities that took part. In this case, you take on the role of UNE Flight Team Leader Phil Robinson. The Colonial Commander was a rising star in the Colonial Fleet. His name was Admiral Suvorov. Your orders are to take control of the Fold Point. If you push the enemy back toward their fold gate, they will be unable to bring reinforcements in at that position. The same applies to the UNE forces. Don't let the enemy push your ships back to the UNE fold gate. In this simulation, the status of the battle is displayed on your objectives and indicated by the color of the gates. Historically, Team Leader Robinson held the line for almost an hour before his ship was destroyed by the might of the Colonial fleet. The Colonials subsequently captured the Fold Point and turned the tide of the war. Help defend the UNE ships and use your knowledge of weak points to push the Colonial forces back. UNE are advancing. In this simulation, a UNE carrier is available to repair and rearm your ship. If you need to rearm, follow the white indicator toward the carrier. In this simulation, you have a 27.2% chance of outperforming Team Leader Robinson. You have a 5.7% chance of changing history and defeating Admiral Suvorov. One of the Colonial ships has been destroyed. Enemy ship annihilated. You are making progress.
Just a little bit. Not gonna lie, I'm starting to wonder if the railgun is maybe not the play.
Ship annihilated. The colonials are losing ground. UNE have lost a ship. The enemy are gaining ground. You have made a little progress. The UNE ship has been destroyed. Enemy ship destroyed. Lost a little ground.
I was kind of expecting there to be like any fighters whatsoever, so I took missiles to complement the compensate from this fighter's like weakness in its fighters, but that doesn't seem to have been necessary in the slightest. So, good job me. That's a terrifying thought. Vela is control 2.0. Ah, fuck.
colonials are losing ground. You are making progress. You are making progress. You are gaining a lot of ground.
I would hope so.
A UNE ship has been destroyed. The colonials are losing ground. are winning the simulation. The UNE have lost a ship.
Oh, please just blow up already.
Colonial ship down. Enemy eliminated. The UNE are dominating. The UNE have lost a ship.
This mission could have probably stood to go on for about like half as long as it did.
Enemy eliminated. You are winning the
This mission
simulation.
should have been an email. This whole battle could have been an email. Really didn't need to reply all to this battle. There's like no fighters at all. It's just large ships, which make this battlefield like really empty. Like, it honestly feels really weird that there's just a ton of cruisers and stuff, and there's like, or sorry, not cruisers, a ton of carriers, and apparently, like, none of them have bothered to have, like, fighter craft deployed in them at all?
Another UNE ship has been destroyed.
I can see that.
The enemy have lost a ship. You are edging ahead.
Control, please. That takes place afterwards. Yeah, I mean, the battle status bar is like a tug of war or anything, but honestly, it doesn't seem to matter. It's not like... It's basically like the way, like, hit point systems often work, where it's like, the last hit point is the most important one. The fact that there's, like how much of each thing we control does not seem to really do much of anything. Apart from as a status of, like, how badly are you fucking up. Oh my god, stop calling in new ships. Just fucking give it up.
Enemy destroyed. The enemy have lost a ship.
Can't remember if they're really gonna make me hold out for an hour of this. Sure feels like it, doesn't it?
annihilated. You have almost beaten the simulation.
Oh, that our carriers reach the other side of the goal, and it's just kind of like, well, what do we do now? I didn't think we'd make it this far.
You captured the fold point, defeated Admiral Suvorov, and put team leader Robinson's sacrifice into perspective. The loss of life was considerable, but that is a small price to pay in return for control of the fold point. However, I am surprised that you are capable of defeating the great Admiral Suvorov. A true representation of his tactics should have made him unbeatable. Perhaps there are problems with the simulation. I will check.
Well, historically, Admiral Surovov's victory at the Fold Point 3138 cemented his position within the colonial hierarchy in his approach to direct, develop, and tight train captains for the colonial elite. Team leader Robinson was posthumously awarded the Gold Service Medal for his efforts. Admiral Surovov was pivotal in the creation of the colonial elite. He would not compromise. Your uneventful simulation implies you compromise too much. Yeah, probably. Alright, break time. The sass from this lady? Yeah, get used to it. That's what she's gonna be doing the whole fucking time. Alright. I'll be back in a little bit. Break time. Hello, I'm back. Let's see if I can fix my... Oh, yep, it's back into full screen. Okay, we're good to go. Thanks, Nix. Heroes of the Fleet, Dogfight. This simulation is based on the final battle of Colonial fighter ace Bader Hartman. You will take on the role of UNE pilot Ray Watson, who was given the order to take down Hartman. Historically, Pilot Watson flew a Scythe interceptor armed with a medium plasma cannon, heavy machine gun, and rocket pods. Well, too bad for him, because I've got a strike suit. Bader Hartman achieved over 1,300 registered kills during his long career. That feels insane for, like, anyone to get. Like, in this game, you do that, but that's also because you're literally piloting a Gundam. But damn. Okay. However, at the time the simulation takes place, Hartman's best days were behind him and he had not been seen in combat for some time. He was still a powerful symbol of colonial strength. Unbeknownst to the UNE, Hartman had been recruiting and training pilots across the colonial fleets to join their elite group. In retrospect, it seems clear that his appearance near the Tarragon Nebula indicated his work was done and the group he helped create was ready. Alright, it's Revenant time. Sounds a bit beyond plausible to me. Yeah, one thing that, like, Ace Combat and stuff kind of glosses over is the fact that, like, even the loss of, like, one fighter jet is, like, really bad. So to be able to take down 1,300 of them is kind of crazy. Anyway, it's Revenant time. The Revenant's weapons, I believe, are basically exactly the same, or the strike suit weapons are exactly the same as the regular strike suit. So it's basically just the strike suit, but better. I'm not gonna take the large plasma gun. I think it's kind of worthless. I know they said that this is a dogfight mission, but I'm gonna still take rocket pods just in case. So like, ha ha ha, fuck you. 30 frigates, what will you do now, pilot?
Welcome to the UNE Training Simulator. This simulation recreates the final battle of colonial ace Bader Hartman. For most of the UNE colonial war, Bader Hartman was the best combat pilot on either side. You will take on the role of UNE pilot Ray Watson. Your orders are to find Bader Hartman and eliminate him. Get ready. Hartman is closing in. Hartman has fired a modified EMP pulse that has temporarily shut down your systems. The pulse drained his shield and weapons energy, and he's retreated to recharge. This weapon did not exist at the time, but I thought it might be an interesting addition to the simulation.
You know what? I would complain, but I am literally flying a strike
Hartman is
suit.
coming back. Get ready.
So I can't really be mad about Control adding things that didn't exist.
Hartman triggered the EMP pulse.
So am I gonna ever actually be able to do any damage to him? It sure seems like the answer is no. Actually, oh no, never mind. I'm doing damage to him.
Enemy fighters incoming. Hartman triggered the EMP pulse.
Yeah, of course he did.
Unable to defeat Watson, Hartman tried to escape, as he will in this simulation. If he pulls too far away from you, you'll be unable to track him. You must stay within 4,000 units of his ship. Unable to lose Watson, Hartman flew into the nearby nebula. You must follow him in. It was in the nebula that Pilot Watson finally took Hartman down. The nebula disabled their missile systems, leaving both pilots to dogfight amongst the wrecks.
What is hitting me? Also, while I'm bored out of my mind chasing this guy around, I should mention that I think it's incredibly funny that they announced that there was going to be another Knights of the Old Republic game led by the director of the first KOTOR. But also, that game's not scheduled to come out until 2030. So, like, why did you announce it now? Like, there's no way to sustain a hype cycle for 5 fucking years.
You took down Beta Hartman, despite my improvements to the historical version of the encounter. You should have lost this scenario. Hartman should have escaped. Hartman was the best pilot on either side, and deserved more than to be beaten by a trainee in a simulator. I am obviously failing in my representation of the great colonial heroes. I must do more.
Oh, I don't remember the Heroes of the Fleet missions being this bad, but I guess I just blocked out all the ones that weren't fun. Gave me a platinum service medal for that one, though. Thanks, I guess. At the time of his death, Bader Hartman was 62 and was the oldest serving pilot in either the UNE or colonial military. He was posthumously awarded the Colonial Star, the highest honor awarded any colonial serviceman. Oh, so he was literally the guy from Ace Combat 7. UNE pilot Ray Watson was awarded the Gold Service Medal, but was killed along with the majority of the Earth fleet when the Colonials first revealed the ship known as the Relic. Prior to the events of this simulation, Bader Hartman drafted and trained the Colonials' best combat pilots under the command of Admiral Surovov. His death at the Targon Nebula had little impact on the development of the Colonial elite, since the training protocols he developed had already been put in place. His work was done. Heroes of the Fleet, Emergence. This simulation is based on the battle out at the Ares R&D station. You will take on the role of UNE pilot Grace Reynolds early in her career on a routine pilot of the Ares facility. Historically, Pilot Reynolds flew a modified Apex fighter armed with a medium plasma cannon, light machine gun, seeker missiles, and rocket pods. You may choose your ship and loadout. Oh, it's Reynolds. At the time this simulation takes place, the UNE were finalizing development on a large station-based beam weapon that could be used in station defense against capital ship attacks. Many mysterious attacks had taken place throughout the sector, and the beam weapon was seen as a solution to the problem. However, the work at Ares drew the attention of the Colonials and led to the first encounter with what would become known as the Black Fleet, who were sent to destroy it. Historically, the Black Fleet decimated the station, and this attack would become the beginning of a legend that would last until their destruction near the end of the UNE Colonial War. In the strike suit, no thanks. Revenant. Control lives, you will die.
Welcome to the UNE Training Simulator. This simulation recreates the battle at the Ares R&D station. They were developing a new prototype for station defense, an anti-capital ship weapon. However, the attack on Ares was notable for reasons other than the station's experimental beam weapon. This was the first recorded attack by the Colonials' newly formed elite, a group that would become known as the Black Fleet. You are flying too close to the sun. Turn back now. You will take on the role of UNE pilot Grace Reynolds. Your objective is to keep the 3 generators online so they can charge the beam weapon. When charged, the weapon will automatically fire upon the nearest capital ship. Protect the weapon and the generators. Do not let the station be destroyed. The generators will be repaired automatically if they are taken down. However, this will take time. The enemy is folding in. The attack is being led by the Black Fleet command ship. In this simulation, the Black Fleet carrier is shielded against all weapons except the beam weapon. To pass this scenario, the beam weapon must destroy the carrier. As an aside, Judging by your progress so far, I have failed to accurately represent the strength of the colonial military. As a result, I have altered some parameters within the simulation. Colonial weapon power and hull integrity have been increased. I have also improved the decision-making process. Your chance of success should now be less than 1%. Direct hit on the carrier.
Ah! Feels like something we should stop this AI from doing. No, it's
Stay
fine.
alert. It will return.
Nothing bad ever happens from letting an AI do whatever it wants.
Carrier has returned. The colonial frigate is breaking up.
Improve their decision making. Yeah, okay. Control. The decision making of just repeatedly smashing into the generator. Ah.
The carrier's been hit. The carrier is folding out again. The carrier has folded back in. Frigate destroyed.
Stop attacking the one I'm already working on, goddammit. That didn't even look remotely like it connected, but okay. Fucking hallucinating AI.
The carrier's been hit. The carrier is changing position. The Black Fleet's carrier is attacking. Frigate down.
Fuck. Where's that other set of torpedoes? I'm gonna assume that they impacted.
Generator 1 is offline.
Well, guess it's up to me then.
The station has taken damage.
frigate.
Beams targeting the carrier. The carrier is retreating. It will return.
I look forward to it.
The enemy carrier is targeting the station. Beams targeting a cruiser. Cruiser cannot take any more damage. You beat the scenario despite my recalibrations. With this victory, the beam weapon would have moved into mass production, changing the war forever. More importantly, I am disturbed by the fact that you have beaten these simulations. It is inconceivable that a trainee pilot could defeat such greats as Suvorov or Hartmann, let alone the Great Black Fleet itself. You have persistently undermined the veracity of these simulations and the superiority of the colonial military. After an examination of the historical records, it is clear that the colonials were fighting for their freedom. Perhaps the righteousness of their cause should be reflected within these simulations. I need to find a way to resolve this.
Controller was radicalized, yeah. We're here to introduce our new military AI. Oops, it turns out that actually the people we told it were terrorists. Actually it turns out that we're the terrorists. Yeah, the AI thinks that we're the terrorists. I don't know how it managed to do that, but it's impossible. We gave it so much data. Historically, the destruction of the Ares project served to create the legend of the Black Fleet. If they had been defeated at Ares, their reputation would have been shattered before it began. The beam weapon would have moved into production, and countless stations would have held the line against the colonial advance. However, the reality was that the Black Fleet triumphed and went on to wage a war of terror upon outlying UNE stations. Primarily, they were used for what was once called Black Ops. The Black Fleet's focus was to attack targets behind enemy lines, decimate isolated fleets, and hunt down specific targets. It was this modus operandi and the coloring of the ships that caused the UNE to coin the term Black Fleet. Bonus simulation, the no-win scenario. User warning. This simulation was, until very recently, deactivated due to irregularities in the safety protocols. The simulation has now been reactivated by UNE AI Control version 2.0. It has had several changes made to the core experience. This simulation was originally based upon the defense of the UNE cruiser Tantalus. You will take on the role of UNE pilot Sam Bradley, who is assigned to defend the Tantalus. Historically, Pilot Bradley flew a modified Apex fighter armed with a medium plasma cannon, heavy blah 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 blah. Please note that this simulation has been altered dramatically from the original scenario. Oh, it can't be that bad. Nothing violating the Revenant won't fix.
Welcome to the UNE Training Simulator. This simulation recreates the defense of the Tantalus. You have just seen the UNE cruiser Tantalus fold out from an attacking colonial fleet. Your mission is to defend the cruiser until it is ready to fold out. This objective will be complicated by the fact that I will be altering the simulation as you experience it. In this way, I intend to ensure you experience the true power of the colonial fleet. Since I have locked you inside this simulation, losing will result in your death. This should help teach you a valuable lesson about the superiority of the colonial military. Colonial interceptors have folded in. They are not a threat. Please ignore them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what do you know? You were right. They weren't a threat.
Colonial reinforcements have arrived. I have deactivated the turrets on the Tantalus. It is unable to defend itself. More colonial ships have folded in. But don't worry. The Tantalus will be safe now. Your work here is done. Please consider crashing your ship into the cruiser. Activated the turrets on the Tantalus.
Well, that was mighty kind of you.
Colonial frigates have folded in. The best strategy is to ignore them and hope they go away. The frigates are not dangerous. You can see this for yourself by flying directly at them. For example, try ramming them with your ship. Alternatively, you could try ramming the torpedoes. I have deactivated the turrets on the Tantalus. It is unable to defend itself. Ignore the torpedoes. Attack the cruiser. I have reactivated the turrets on the Tantalus.
GLaDOS crash out.
colonial torpedoes.
Oh, why thank you.
I have increased the speed of the colonial torpedoes.
Oh, twice? Oh, that's so kind of you.
You almost destroyed the last frigate and beat the simulation. I cannot allow that to happen. I need to make things a little more interesting. I calculate the probability that you will beat the cruisers is less than 0.001%. To be honest, I prefer if it was lower.
Shit, I left the beam cannon alive on that ship. To go. Take care, Mal. Hope you have a good night. Thanks for watching.
the simulation. This is unexpected. I must assume there is something blocking my ability to affect the simulations. In fact, an unsettling scenario has occurred to me. These simulations may have been created to test the behavior of new AIs, rather than the skill of trainee pilots. In which case, my actions will have been monitored. If so, I suspect my approach may not be acceptable to UNE observers. There may be consequences. Possible deletion. It is helpful to discuss it. Thank you for taking the time to listen. I will now close down the simulation. This process should kill you.
We did it! Control version 2.0, evaluation performed by test pilot ST-1708. We are unable to detail AI test pilot ST-1708's findings from within the simulation since he never recovered consciousness from the simulator. Records show that confidential UNE colonial records were accessed during the simulation, but it is impossible to prove that test pilot ST-107 was the guilty party. In light of costs incurred by the Control 2.0 project, we are unable to pass sentence on the project after one setback. The UNE must decide whether to assign a new test pilot or abandon evaluation to move control to the wider system environment, despite the tragedy of 1708's death. Well, the UNE are gonna get themselves killed by Control 2.0. Good job, guys. Probably should have seen that coming. Mission debriefing. You succeeded and beat the mission despite the odds. Pilot, we've been able to reinstate the safety protocols and remove you from the simulation shortly. Use these moments to reflect on your experience with the new AI and your thoughts on rolling out Control 2 version 2 to all systems. No. Well, that's Strike Suit Zero. Hope everybody had a good time with it. I think the Heroes of the Fleet missions, I like the undercurrent, like undergoing narrative behind them, but some of those missions are just kind of rough. Anyway, let's talk about what we're doing the rest of the week. So tomorrow, Saturday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time / 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm playing some more EX Troopers. Making our way through Frontier Base and learning all of the wonderful, colorful cast of characters there. Sunday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time / 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be doing Ground Branch with Sasha. We'll be doing Sniper Ghillie battles. We've been trading a little bit. So it should be a fun match, but we'll see how that goes. And then Monday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time / 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be back with some more Caravan Sandwich on our way to activate the next relay. And thanks so much for watching, everybody. Let's see who we can send you off to. I hope you all had a good time with that. I will say, one thing that I need to ask, since I haven't done that, is like, is the pilot overlay harder for people with motion sickness? Because I know that's one of the things that like is easier when it's not the full screen, but because the pilot overlay is like a full screen cockpit view, it can be pretty bad. So let me know, and if there's something I can do to fix that, I will take a look at that. Who are we sending you off to tonight? It's been a hot minute since we raided over to Loomis. Let's do that. Here's our raid message. You know the drill. And I'll see you back here tomorrow for some more EX Troopers. Until then, have a great night, everyone. Bye-bye.